right, welcome everybody, Rebel Saints Meditation Society. It's Sunday morning in Seattle, and we're still alive in the Capitol Hill neighborhood. Um, yeah, it's pretty still a lot going on up here in Capitol Hill, in the Capitol Hill neighborhood, and so far so good as far as Rebel Saints is still happening. We're still in under uh, phases in the coronavirus. I don't want to say lockdown because we're not totally locked down, but the phases, we're still like in phase one in Seattle. Restrictions. So only me and Joseph in the Meditation Society, we're keeping it alive. We can't wait till people can come visit. And then, of course, we have all you, the International Sangha, Rebel Saints Against the Stream, and stoked that everybody can participate online. To me, this is like such a cool thing. I have, met a lot of meditators from around the country and around the world over the years in my travels to retreats and all that stuff, and can't always connect. And now we can connect and sit together as Sangha, even when we live all over the place. So I think that's one of the miraculous and incredible and cool things that has happened as a result of us all having to stay at home or stay at home more than we're used to. So my name's Rachael Savage. I'll be leading our class today. I'll offer a talk. We'll do about a half an hour of meditation and then some time to discuss the practice if you like. And Sunday mornings, I teach the heart practices. And these are cultivated states of mind. They're natural attitudes that we have. They come and go naturally. They said that the heart, the loving kindness, compassion, appreciation, equanimity are natural states or qualities of our heart. That's actually what's underneath it all. You guys are all sweethearts underneath it all. And some of us have our sweetheart shines more than others. But some of us like to keep it really hidden. So according to the Buddhist perspective, that's what is actually in us. These qualities, 4 qualities of heart. And so because life is challenging and because we've had programming and conditioning and all kinds of bullshit from our society and our parents and school and all that stuff, advertising, we have developed or we have cultivated actually some unwise responses to the way life is. And we also have this greed, hatred, and delusion, which is also a natural response, but it is the response to life that leads to suffering. And of course, everything I say is for you to consider and ponder for yourself to see if it's true for you in your experience. So these aren't like definitive statements. These are just the teachings of the Buddha, what I've found in my exploration and experience and practice, and for you to see for yourself. Does hatred lead to suffering in your life? Do you see it in society and in the world around you? Does hatred lead to suffering? Does greed lead to, in all its forms, lead to suffering in your life and in society? And ignorance, confusion, does it lead to suffering in your life and in the world? And what I mean by suffering, and I believe this is the teaching of the Buddha, is that it's not the pain of life, that we all experience. It's the way we make ourselves miserable about it. All the ways that we create suffering and make it worse. We make the pain that happens to everyone worse than ourselves. So these heart practices are a way to check and see, how am I responding? And today I'd like to talk about loving kindness, metta in the Pali language. This is friendliness and openness and acceptance of whatever we experience. And this is really what I see as the basis of all the others. I don't think we can really have compassion without loving kindness or friendliness. I don't think we can develop appreciative joy without this foundation of kindness and equanimity, this ability to respond in real time to whatever's happening with a skillful compassion or appreciation, not grasping, not clinging, without this kindness, without this friendliness. So I thought this was interesting. For some of us, including me, this may be a turnoff, but kindness is mainstream, people. Don't leave the dog yet. Well, you can leave if you want to, but kindness is mainstream. Time magazine, right now. Now, just to say, I'm not endorsing this or the writing in it. I just thought it was interesting when I was at the grocery store yesterday and I saw Time magazine, The Power of Kindness. I've actually already read a couple articles and I don't totally agree, but the pointing is, do agree that the power of kindness can create a better life and a better world. I totally agree with that. And then a couple of the other subtitles, spreading kindness in a rude world. I think that's so funny and true. And this one really blew me away. Mastering self-forgiveness. Mainstream, baby. So as we know, mindfulness and some of these, meditation techniques, these ancient practices that the Buddha taught are becoming part of mainstream secular kind of suggestions and teachings. And I've seen this quite a bit, especially since the pandemic happened, the how to make solitude, how to not suffer so much about solitude, and how to be kind to ourselves in the midst of difficult times, and all of this kind of stuff that I'm seeing out in the world. So these are, not just, although they come from the Buddhist teachings, they're not just a practice that's kind of for the monks or, for meditators anymore. So I think that's pretty cool. My teacher, Noah Levine, says that kindness is always the appropriate response. So what the hell does that mean in the world that we're living in? Because often, I know that this is true for me, and you can see if it's true for you, we think like kindness isn't safe. Kindness, no way. Kindness is not going to be appropriate for this situation or that situation. I'm not going to be a doormat. That's a big objection that people have to kindness, as if we're kind, we're just going to let anybody do whatever they want to us or to those we care about. So these objections that we have, like, I don't know if I'm not sure if that's true, and I think that's some great, the skepticism this is a kind of doubt that leads to wisdom, where we're just questioning, we're not just taking in everything we hear and just believing it, or we're not just hearing stuff and we don't like and immediately rejecting it. This kind of skeptical, questioning, investigative, critical thinking to what we hear is encouraged. So we dig a little deeper rather than just saying, oh no, there's no way, I'm not going to be kind. It's not okay, or it's not brave, or it's not safe, or, I'm going to be a doormat. I'm just going to be so kind that, I just let everyone just. So what we're talking about with this kindness is what's the opposite? I think that can be skillful to investigate what the opposite is. And so I've been thinking and observing so much hatred, fear, and ill will. And in the Refuge Recovery book, in the loving kindness meditation, it encourages that this practice is to free ourselves, from hatred, fear, and ill will. And so the first question that I have is, do I have any of those things? Do I have hatred? And do I have fear? And do I have ill will? Do I experience those mind states and emotions in my life? And do they create suffering? So that is the teaching. That's what it said that Buddha discovered, was that greed, hatred, and delusion are the causes of our suffering. So hatred is aversion, it's irritation, it's what we don't like. When we are that dislike that we have for whatever it is, that's hatred. That's a form of hatred. We're talking about aversion. So this practice asks us to check in with ourselves and see, okay, where is that happening and when is that happening in my experience? And I just had it this morning. Social media. I hate social media. I really do. I hate Facebook. I hate Instagram. I do. And I found myself just this morning suffering about it. I was like, oh, there's hatred and I'm suffering. I just don't like it. It causes so many problems, I think, in our society, in our world. And I only participate in it at the very least that I must, to try to create a positive change in the world. But man, Facebook. And what I find is social media, and I think this is interesting to investigate as well for you. Does it bring up hatred? Does it bring up fear? And does it bring up ill will? And ill will is this wanting to, I actually looked up the definition: animosity, bitterness, strong hostility. That's what Webster's has to say. I will admit, I am bitter towards social media. And it brings up fear. Why would social media bring up fear? For me, I just noticed with social media, it can bring up the judging mind and the comparing mind. Now, these are ways that our mind just is. Our mind judges, our mind compares. So sometimes we think, oh, if I just meditate enough, my mind won't be so judgmental or it won't compare so much. And this is just part of the function of our mind and our survival instinct, or that's just trying to keep us alive. So we're surveying the environment. We're just checking things out. Is that person safe? Is that cool? Is this situation going to be all right? So it's part of our mind that just keeps us alive. So it's not going to go anywhere. Now, whether we suffer about it and make it worse and use it to increase hatred, to increase fear, and to increase ill will, this judging and comparing and, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And I don't like the way they look and they shouldn't be doing that. And of course, always, I'm not saying that everything's cool in the world. It's not. There are things that are scary. There are people that are harming others. The question is, are we going to suffer about it? Or can we respond in a way that helps? Can we respond to what's scary and what's difficult and what's uncertain, the way things are, in a way that doesn't make it worse? So Ajahn Amaro talks a lot about Thai forest monk, my teacher, Noah's teacher, talks a lot about the way that the Dharma, the truth of things, is the nature of things, and that everything belongs in nature. It's part of the way it is, the nature of things. And so we check, like, how am I responding? I don't like this. And often it begins with the hatred, or it begins with what we don't like. And then we can get fearful about it. We might react with fear, or we start thinking, I can't handle it. I don't want it. Get rid of it. Maybe we get bitter. My son actually said this to me the other day. He's almost 27, the oldest one. And he said, as he ages, he doesn't want to get bitter about life. His life is hard, it's difficult. I know you guys know, or you wouldn't be here. I thought, oh, that at 27 to see that, like, oh, I don't want to get bitter. And are we responding? That's the ill will, the bitterness, intolerance. What else? Animosity. Are we holding animosity toward anyone or anything or any situation? I have felt it in the air. Animosity, a lot of animosity in the air. So how do we work with this? How do we work with these quite natural, this is how our untrained mind is going to react to this stuff. The Buddha called it, the people that aren't training in meditation practice, untrained worldlings. What to say? Untrained worldlings. Have you run across any of those lately? Just obsessed with the world and totally reactive. I'm guilty of it too. So I tend to, hatred comes up in my life, in my experience, still, of course. when I think that people are harming. So it feels really justified. And this example of social media, I think it does so much harm. And so I think it's okay to hate it. In fact, anyone that doesn't hate it is ignorant. But it's the hatred that's causing me to suffer. How does it feel to hate? Fear as well. How does it feel to be in fear when it's uncertain, when we're not sure, when we're worried? I mean, we have a whole pharmaceutical industry that's like making billions off this anxiety and fear. Get rid of it. And ill will. Do we find ourselves, there's this phrase like eaten up with resentment. Justified, so-called justified resentment. So what do? This is why we cultivate the state of mind, excuse me, of loving kindness, metta, friendliness, acceptance, acceptance of what's happening. So often I found in my experience that the acceptance is the first step to making some sort of positive change. I was thinking of like a flooding or a bath this is a horrible example, but like a toilet being clogged or something. We have to accept that it's happening. Like, okay, it's clogged for sure, or it's, flooding over. We just ignore it. It's not going away, people. So an unpleasant truth, something we don't like, something we don't want to deal with. First off, okay, it's happening. Okay, got it. Now, what's the skillful response? The first step is the acceptance. And I find that when my mind is at ease with what's happening, whatever it is, I'm more likely to be able to access wisdom. I'm more likely to be able to access a response that's going to be really helpful or skillful. And so this cultivation of acceptance with what's happening, Ajahn Amro's been listening to him a lot lately. He's calls it a radical acceptance. This is what this kindness is. It's a radical acceptance of what's happening, whatever it is. And we cultivate it through meditation. And today I'll offer you some really simple phrases that most of you already know, and I've been offering. May I be at ease. May I be happy. May I be free from suffering. So these phrases, I think, are important to be simple so we can remember them. And it also points to the attitude we're trying to cultivate. May I be at ease. To me, that's like the most important one because it really points to the kind of state of mind to relate to reality with. A relaxation and an ease with what is happening. And we've all had experience with that. That when we meet something we don't like, when we meet a difficult situation or a difficult person, and we have a sense of ease that we're feeling pretty good in ourselves and we're relaxed and we can respond in a way that doesn't make it so hard. So may I be at ease. And I truly believe that the only way that we can be able to respond with this kind, friendly attitude in real time, in real situations, when the toilet's overflowing, is when we have practiced. Because it doesn't, even though it is a natural state of the heart, it doesn't always come out naturally. In fact, our mind often doesn't even think it's an option. And so when we do this practice and we repeat the phrases over and over and we cultivate this attitude in our mind, it might not work right away. Even when we're sitting, we might not feel at ease. We might not feel friendly. I've been working on loving kindness for a particular situation for the last 3 months, and I still don't feel that friendly toward the situation. But I know from my experience that just practicing with it and suggesting it to my mind, may I be at ease with this, that it becomes more of an option. Before it wasn't an option at all, but now it becomes an option. And so at some point in real time, I don't know when, because I might have to spend another 3 months on this situation because it's particularly challenging. I know from my experience in the past, at some point when I'm faced with that situation, my mind will decide, oh yeah, I could be at ease with this. I could just let it live and not hate it. So sometimes when we're doing these practices, it might feel like nothing's happening. But we are cultivating a different response. We are giving our mind the option, and eventually it will take it. It will, because we actually do want to be happy. And the more that we see that the kind response is actually the response that leads to our happiness, the more that we'll be inclined to do it. So that second phrase, may I be happy, doesn't, sometimes people don't like that phrase happiness. I get it. It's kind of sounds too head in the clouds or something. To me, what it points to is this inner peace, and that, again, kind of an inner sense of ease, a contentment. So may I be happy. You could say, may I be at peace. May I be content. And then the final phrase that we practice in the loving kindness is, may I be free from suffering. May I be free from having to react with hatred to what I don't like. May I be free from being in the grips of fear. We're always going to have some fear. Fear is going to come and go. Again, just like judgment, just like comparing. But through our practice, we will be able to see it come and not feed it and be in the grips of it. So we'll come, we'll meet it with acceptance. Okay, fear, and let it pass. And then the ill will. We can start to soften that bitter heart. Soften the animosity, the resentment. Free ourselves from that shit. We can learn to, we don't have to do that anymore. Okay, so let's practice together. We'll meditate for about 30 minutes, doing the phrases of loving kindness metta together. Find your meditation posture. Sitting upright, mainly so we can stay awake. And gently close your eyes. And right away, bring your attention to your body sitting. And just notice the places that you aren't at ease, where you might feel tension or stress in your body. Soften your eyes, jaw, shoulders, chest, belly. And settle into your seat. Just let your seat support you. And bring attention to your breathing. You can choose to keep your attention on your breathing either at your nose or your belly. And settling in here for the first 10 minutes or so of our meditation, mindfulness of breathing. As you breathe in, know you're breathing in. As you breathe out, know you're breathing out. And watching your breath like you're watching a fire in the fireplace on a fall evening, or as if you're sitting on the beach watching the waves come in. Let this mindfulness of breathing practice become a soothing place to rest and relax. can begin today with someone who's easy to love and easy to be kind to. This is traditionally known as the benefactor. Just bring someone to mind who has helped you, someone who's shown you kindness and supported you. This could be a friend or a teacher, a mentor, or someone that you admire that's inspired you. And with this person in mind, we can begin to repeat the phrases of metta, of kindness toward the benefactor. And in your mind, repeating these simple phrases over and over with this person in mind. May you be at ease. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering. So you can repeat these phrases or any other phrases that have a kind and loving intention, accepting intention. And just repeat them over and over in your mind. May you be at ease. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering. Now turn your attention toward yourself. And with yourself in mind, begin to repeat the phrases of kindness. May I be at ease. May I be happy. May I be free from suffering. Maybe we're feeling a little bit more kind because we've just thought of someone we really appreciate. And now turn that attitude toward yourself. Now bring someone to mind that you don't know. You don't have a strong feeling for one way or the other. A stranger. And just the first person that comes to mind. Maybe somebody at the market or someone that lives in your neighborhood. And with this person in mind, a neutral person, begin to offer them the phrases of kindness. May you be at ease. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering. Now bring to mind a difficult person. This is somebody that maybe you're having conflict with, you have a resentment toward. And with this intention to free yourself from hatred, fear, and ill will, take this person as an object, as the object of your kindness meditation. May you be at ease. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering. Now include everybody. Include every person. In your city, in your state, in your country, in the world. Here we include everyone, offering the phrases of kindness. May you all be at ease. May you all be happy. May you all be free from suffering. Offering these phrases to everyone until you hear the sound of the bell.